Hello and welcome to the Evercade Retreat. Gene Joke here, and today I'm adding the Astyanax to my ever-growing list where I rank every Evercade game ever. Originally released in the arcade in 1989 by Jellico, which would be why it appears on the Jellico Arcade Collection 1. Apparently in Japan it was known as the Lord of King, and also it was reimagined on the NES as Astyanax, which I'll get to in a minute. But first, the arcade version. It is a 2D hack and slash sort of in the vein of Rastan, in as much as it's pure sword and sorcery spectacle. You play a blonde warrior of an axe, going to smash demons and restore peace to the land or something, and naturally you fight all manner of mythical beasties along the way. Your warrior does move a little bit slowly, and he swings his axe, which uses up an energy meter. If you attack too fast and too frequently, without allowing your energy meter to rebuild, your attacks will become less effective. And while I suppose on paper this makes things a little bit more strategic, I don't think it really adds anything to the gameplay. But you do also have some sort of magical attacks as well, which does add a little bit of something. But it's not particularly a mechanically deep game, although these sort of hack and slash games rarely are. But it does feel a little bit clunky. Don't get me wrong, I'm aware that the mechanics do kind of try and prevent it from being just a button masher that rewards timing and spatial awareness to make the most out of your attacks. I just don't really feel it adds anything in this sort of game, or at least not with the way the level design is done, or the sheer quantity of enemies on some levels. It plays fine, but I do feel it would be more exciting if it was maybe just a little bit faster and more frantic. On the visual front, everything is bright and bold. I would say it's a feast for the eyes, but it is a good looking game with plenty of, the things you'd expect from a fantasy epic. Mythical beasts, ruined castles. The sprite work is absolutely solid. I really can't complain with the visuals at all. On the audio front, it is a mixed bag. The sound effects are sort of what you expect, although the ha of your character as he swings his axe does get rather irritating. The music can be good, but it can also be quite abrasive. All in all, there's a pretty good game here, but it's something I play more for the aesthetic rather than the gameplay, which does lack a bit of fluidity. But it's certainly one that's worth coin feeding your way through. But I don't feel myself drawn enough to keep going back in any effort to 1cc it or master the game. To place it on my overall ranking list where I rank every Evercade game ever, I would put it above Ira the Crow Maiden, but below Ironclad. So moving on to the NES port, which was featured on the Jellico Collection 1, the red one. This NES port was sort of a reimagining. Instead of playing a epic mythical warrior, you control a schoolboy who's been turned into some kind of mythical warrior or something. So it's basically, your fantasy chosen one kind of cliche. The gameplay on the surface is very similar to the arcade original. It's a fantasy hack and slash with a strength meter which builds up when you don't attack. There's weapon upgrades and a magic system, and the levels are fairly linear like in the arcade original, but they are different levels. The gameplay, while similar to the arcade original, does feel less exciting. Due to not having credits to credit feed your way through, the game does present a bit more of a challenge. Although on the Evercade, if you want a save state and use your way through, then you can. There's also some cheat codes you can enter for extra health or infinite health, whatever it is. But overall, in gameplay terms, it's changed from the arcade original for good reason, the capabilities of the NES. It effectively comes a bit more in depth, which isn't a bad thing, but I do feel the actual moment-to-moment gameplay is considerably less engaging. Naturally, the visuals had a downgrade from the arcade version, but it does look quite good for the NES, with some large sprites, but also some quite garish colours. It does have a very distinct look to it. The sound and music are naturally very NES, and they're not too bad. There's some pretty good tunes here, the sound effects are adequate. Yeah, it does fine. Where it does shine overall is the presentation. As I mentioned, the story is a bit different, and there's some little cutscenes and things which do really add flavour to the proceedings. If they'd been able to make the gameplay a little bit more engaging and less repetitive, this could have been a really strong game. But as it is, it feels like it's taken a step forward and a step back in comparison to the arcade original. To place it in my overall ranking list, I would put it above Crude Buster, but below Street Racer for the Super Nintendo. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.